folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Man, has it been busy around here. It seems like it's just never ending, nonstop doing something. Yesterday left the house before 7 o'clock, didn't get back home till after 11 o'clock. As some of you saw in yesterday's video, a group of us guys went to another family's farm here in our community, kind of help them out. And then on the way back, the truck we were all in broke down. Spent a few hours on the side of the road. Actually got the thing towed to my driveway, and I'll be trying to work on that next week and get that fixed for the brother that's in the community that owns the truck. I think it will be a surprisingly easy fix, knock on wood. But just lots of things going on. But it's not just stuff going on here in my world. It's going on, busy stuff going on in the world. The internet is just abuzz today. All kinds of crazy important things just filling the news feeds online. But there's also stuff going on that are, well, they're important too, but may not be right up front where you're seeing it. This whole mandate lockdown stuff, it's happening more and more around the world. More countries are going through it and making all these announcements that, well, if you don't have this, you're going to be locked down. And then they're like, well, guess what? Well, everyone's going to get locked down. And, we've got Austria saying that it's going to be law. Everyone in the country must have it, period. It's law. And we're seeing this grow and grow again. And then there's the whole economic stuff. Inflation seems to be a spreading disease, and it's happening in a lot of countries. It's not just an American thing. There's several countries that are experiencing high inflation. Germany's inflation right now is going through the roof. China's inflation. Other countries, inflation's going up. India. This is a problem that the world has never really experienced before, where everyone's dealing with it. And, inflation isn't anything new. Countries all throughout history deal with it from time to time. But we live in such a global economy and a global network of countries and economies that it affects everyone now. And so it'll be interesting to see how all of the economic problems, supply chain problems, inflation problems affect us and the rest of the world differently now, because they're so intricately woven together that when one currency or one economy collapses, it really is going to send ripple effects across the world. It's a completely different ball game. But there's other things going on in the news that I know you're just wanting me to talk about. The president had his colon checked, apparently, and I guess it's okay. For a time, we had a new president, the first woman that held the reins of power of the presidency, and amazingly, nothing happened. Is this just something that, that just happened, or is this kind of setting us up for future events where this kind of transfer of power may end up becoming permanent? Who knows? But the big news that everyone, I'm sure, is just waiting to hear about, wanting me to talk about, or maybe you don't care if I talk about it, is Kyle. Well, Kyle got a not guilty verdict on all accounts.
Gentlemen, prepare to defend yourselves.
That's right, not guilty on all accounts. I don't disagree with this by any means. I've not really talked about it a whole lot on this channel. I think the situation and Kyle and the incident that happened is legitimate, but I do think that the media and the whole justice system of how they prosecuted this case, or the lack thereof, was probably manipulated and played into the whole grand scenario that we're living in. It'll be interesting to see the repercussions of this verdict. Most of you probably think that there's going to be rioting, violence. For those of you old enough, my age and older, you probably remember the LA riots and how that all panned out. And it's not an exact situation, but it is similar. And we already saw what happened last year with the whole Summer of Love, and a scenario like this where they painted him in one way, the media did, and everyone believed one thing about him, and then it turns out he gets exonerated and walks free. I could certainly see tonight or over the next few nights the beginnings of some violent action. So my preparedness mind is telling me to tell you that if you live in areas, and you'll know who you are, that you could see some of these actions, I would certainly get ready. I mean, the Wisconsin National Guard is already set up. They've been there for a while. Police departments and agencies all over the country, especially in these bigger cities, have already made the announcements. They've, basically telling, officers, no, you can't take any time off right now, that kind of stuff. They're getting ready. There's even reports, I think, of businesses, boarding up windows, and if they're not doing it, they probably should. Kenosha, from what I understand, especially their downtown, because of the things that happened last year, they're already struggling. I don't think, from what I hear, they're probably never going to come back to the strength that it was as far as like that business district, and it's been greatly damaged. So maybe there's just not enough there for them to burn and loot anymore. Maybe they'll take their party elsewhere, but who knows? The fact is that you need to be prepared for this, especially those that live anywhere near areas that you think could see this. And you kind of know the bigger cities are going to most likely see this. I don't think that we're going to see any rioters come down my little single lane gravel road out here in the middle of nowhere. But if so, we'll be ready for that. Folks, all in all, this is why we prepare. This is the world we face now. Every day, let me just pause for a moment and kind of switch little slight gears here and talk personally. Every day here lately, I've actually struggled with coming up with something to say, some kind of content. I mean, there's certainly plenty of things in the news to talk about, and things going on that I could talk about. But on the other hand, part of me wants to just tell you this message that, folks, it's getting serious. It is serious. It's gotten serious. We're in the middle of serious, and it's time to hunker down and get ready. I'm not saying like bug in and lock your doors and board your windows. I'm saying get serious for this. Recently received emails from people asking if they even think they have time yet to move, that they're wanting to get out, they're wanting to move. Is it even worth it? I mean, if you can make the move somewhat quickly, there's certainly places around here. I mean, around here where I live, the world seems to be functioning normal for the most part. We see very, very little glimpses of any kind of, global health crisis and everything, other than just, prices of products have gone up. But most things kind of tick away as normal around here. And it's kind of because it's a slower paced world, or we're kind of isolated out here in the middle of nowhere in these little towns and communities. So yeah, I think there still is time. There's time for you to get your house in order, to get yourself in a place where you're more safe, where you have a greater chance of sustainability because of all this stuff going on. But I do believe the time clock is ticking. I don't know how to convey the message any longer of, folks, get ready. I'm not saying the apocalypse is happening. I mean, the biblical apocalypse will happen at some point. But I think the world that we live in has changed so drastically in such a short amount of time that folks like you and I, it's going to be difficult to fit in out in the world. And I don't think we're meant to be in the world, at least for those of you that are believers like myself. We're not meant to be in the world anyways. So why keep trying? Get out of this stuff. Walk away. Secede from that culture. Do your best to get yourself in a place where you can be more secure, wherever that is. And if you can't, if you're just going to be where you're at, continue preparing. Get ready. Get your families ready, not just in a prepper sense, the standard doomsday prepper sense. Get your families ready mentally for the things that are happening, spiritually, psychologically. it's a completely different world. There's so much garbage being thrown at them. It's astonishing, the stuff that's normalized so rapidly. And you know, things keep getting worse, things keep happening. You know, this whole Rittenhouse thing, that's not the first, and it's not going to be the last. I mean, there's still people from January 6th in solitary confinement being treated like they're the worst criminals ever to walk the planet. It's just going to keep happening. This ship isn't going to just turn around, and it's not going to turn around just because, you know, some different people that have different letters in front of their names in 2022 get elected. And it's not going to turn around just because some different person might happen to take the White House in a few years. It's not going to turn around like that. It doesn't work that way, folks. I mean, there could be some policy changes. It may seem a little bit better, but the fact is that I believe, maybe you disagree, we're past that point of no return. You know, this ship, this train is barreling down that hill, and when it will stop and how it will stop, I don't know. But all I know is that you and I, we have to get ourselves prepared for that. Take it seriously, build connections, prepare yourselves here and here, really, most of all, because I strongly believe that the path that this is going to take us is going to be very shocking, even for you and I, that we have been aware of this and that we're planning and preparing and getting ourselves geared up for it. This isn't going to be a Hollywood movie, folks. Probably a lot worse than that. We're going to be put to the test, and the trials and the tribulations that I believe that we're going to be facing over the coming months and years, I think they could kind of shock us. The amount of choices that we make, whether to have freedoms and to live the life that we believe is the right way, versus, you know, maybe having a connection to our family. You know, you may have to give up your family or make that choice between family and what is right. A lot of people already are. There's people that are suffering, people that's lost their loved ones already to death because of all the stuff that's happening. People losing their jobs, people losing their homes. There is a lot of tragedy happening. It may not be happening to you right now. That doesn't mean that it's not happening. And what we're seeing is it's growing and it's growing and it's growing. And eventually, if it hasn't happened to you yet, eventually the odds are you're probably going to start feeling the effects of it. So I can get on here all the time and talk about all this stuff in the news, but other than for the entertainment factor of it, or just to get, you know, some crazy bearded hillbilly's opinion of it, what else does it do get any good for you? Get ready, folks. Get your houses in order. Prepare, build connections. You know, that's how much more can I say? We're watching Rome burn. We're watching it crash and burn. Don't sit on the sidelines. Take it as a signal to get ready, and take it as a signal to work and work hard till the time comes that you can't do it anymore. There's no longer a game that we're playing. It's no longer just a hobby to fill our time. This very well could be getting into that moment that it's a life or death, or it's freedom or captivity and slavery. And the things that you're doing now, the things that you're doing to prepare your life and your family's lives, could be that deciding factor of where you end up in that when it's all said and done. All right, folks, I've rambled enough. Good on the Kyle boy up there. I think he did deserve this verdict, and we will wait and see what happens. Maybe nothing. Nothing may happen, but I have a feeling that there will be some things happen. All right, thank you for watching. Catch you in the next video.